Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into something that is, honestly, a universal struggle for pretty much all of us. We're going to completely unpack that massive, frustrating conflict between our grandest, most beautiful ambitions and the daily, grinding friction of our own laziness. It's essentially the ultimate battle between who we really want to be and what we actually choose to do on a daily basis.
So let me ask you something, and be completely honest with yourself here. Have you ever felt this way? You want to achieve something absolutely massive. You dream about success, you can vividly imagine a much better life for yourself. But when the actual moment comes to, sit down and take action, what do? You delay. You push your biggest dreams off, telling yourself you'll just start tomorrow. Look, if you've ever been ambitious but lazy, the concepts we are breaking down today might genuinely change how you see your life forever.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Section 1. The ambitious but lazy dreamer.
To really understand the mechanics of ambition versus laziness, we're going to look at the story of a young man named Amir, because honestly, his life perfectly mirrors the exact same struggles with procrastination that hold so many of us back. Amir was 25 years old. He lived in this beautiful, small village surrounded by green fields. And at 25, the guy was in the absolute prime of his life, strong, healthy, and just completely full of dreams. He was always boasting to his friends, saying things like, "One day I'm going to be the richest farmer in this entire village. My field is going to shine with golden crops. People will come to me for advice. I'll be respected everywhere." And you know what? People actually admired his ambition.
But there was one fatal flaw in Amir's design. Big plans, absolutely zero action. He was incredibly lazy. When the sun came up and all the other farmers eagerly headed out to their fields, Amir, he just stayed tucked in bed. When the village men were out there sweating, working incredibly hard under the hot sun, Amir would be sitting comfortably in the shade, just talking about his grand dreams. He really loved to imagine success, but he completely despised the actual hard work that success requires. And this brings us to Amir's favorite word. His absolute go-to response whenever any task presented itself was simply, "Tomorrow." Whenever anyone asked him to do something, he'd say, "I'll do it later." It is such a dangerous trap, isn't it? Because tomorrow is a word that completely protects our ego. We aren't technically saying no to our dreams, we're just saying not right now. But as we're about to see, tomorrow is literally where dreams go to die.
Section 2. The 2 magic seeds.
One evening, Amir's uncle, who was this older, very wise and experienced farmer, came over to visit. He took one look at Amir's completely empty field and decided it was time to teach this kid a very necessary lesson. The uncle just looked right at him and delivered the sharp, undeniable observation. He pointed at the rich land where absolutely nothing was growing and highlighted the massive gap between Amir's big talk and his actual reality. And how did Amir react? He just laughed it off. He told his uncle, "Hey, don't worry, I will start tomorrow. My field will be the best, just wait and see." The old man just sighed. He had heard this empty promise of tomorrow far, far too many times. And this brilliantly illustrates the core of our problem. The uncle reached into his pocket and handed Amir 2 small bags containing magic seeds. These represented 2 entirely different paths in life. The first was the ambition seed. The uncle explained that if Amir planted it and watered it every single day, it would grow into a magnificent tree providing fruit, shade, and real wealth. But the second seed? That was the laziness seed. If planted, it would grow unbelievably fast, completely automatically, spreading thick, destructive weeds that would ruin everything else. The uncle told Amir flat out that the future of his life depended entirely on which one he actually cared for. Section 3. The cost of tomorrow. Let's see what happens when Amir actually takes possession of his future.
So the very next morning rolls around. Amir feels a bit tired. True to form, he says, "I will plant it tomorrow." Days pass. Finally, out of sheer boredom, he just kind of throws both seeds into the dirt, telling himself, "Let's just see what happens. I can always take care of them later, right?" Weeks go by. Amir completely forgets about the seeds. He spends his days sleeping, gossiping, and dreaming, until eventually, the inevitable happens.
One day, Amir finally wanders out to his field, and he is absolutely shocked. His dream is literally turning into a waking nightmare. Because he had put in zero effort, that ambition seed was weak, it was small, and it was quite literally on the verge of dying. It had received no water, no care, no daily action whatsoever. When the uncle returns to view the damage, he delivers an incredibly stark warning. He points at the thick weeds completely choking the soil and explains a fundamental law of life. Ambition requires daily action. It needs consistent effort.
But laziness is totally automatic. It grows entirely on its own. The uncle looked at Amir and said, "My son, you wanted to be great, but your laziness has already stolen your future."
Section 4. Small actions save dreams.
So, the crucial point is, hearing those words, Amir finally gets it. He falls to his knees, he touches that dying ambition seed, and tears actually fill his eyes. For the very first time, it clicks. He realizes that just dreaming about success is not enough. Only action keeps dreams alive. That night, he couldn't sleep, totally haunted by his wasted time. So the next morning, he makes a radical shift. He realizes how small actions create success. Not one giant leap, but small steps. Step 1, he wakes up before the sun even rises. Step 2, he starts pulling out those thick weeds with his bare hands. And it wasn't easy. His back hurt, his hands were literally bleeding, but he pushed through that friction. Step 3, he watered the ambition seed. And crucially, he didn't just do it once. He committed to these small, daily micro-actions every single day.
Because he finally focused on how small actions create success, rather than just daydreaming about the finish line, the compounding effects took over. Slowly, that weak little seed grew into a strong plant. Over the years, because of those daily micro-investments of effort, it became a massive tree that gave him the fruits, the shade, and the wealth he always used to talk about. Amir completely transformed himself from the village's lazy dreamer into a successful, highly respected farmer. He fought his laziness, and he won.
Section 5. Your life is the field.
Now, Amir's story is a great fable, but let's be real. This isn't actually about farming, is it? It is directly about you, your life, and the ambitions you hold in your own head. Every single one of us holds these two seeds inside. We all have the capacity for grand ambition, and we all have the capacity for deep, paralyzing laziness. The absolute key takeaway here is that ambition will only grow if you feed it daily with small actions, discipline, and effort. Laziness requires zero effort. It grows all by itself, and it will gladly choke out your dreams if you let it. You just cannot wait for tomorrow. If you want to achieve your goals, you have to start pulling out the weeds of laziness today, right now, through small, consistent daily steps.
So, I want to leave you with this final, vital question to think about as you go about the rest of your day. Look at your daily habits. Look at the small actions you are either taking or avoiding. Which seed are you watering today? Don't wait for tomorrow. Keep your dreams alive by taking action right now.